Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Why Aren't We Virgins podcast. I am the Stash Father here with Shifty.
What's up, dude?
And the Juice.
Yo.
We're sitting here, a couple beers in hand. Shout out to Thin Man Brewery for their Minky Boodle. 7% raspberry sour ale. Delicious.
Shout out to Jack Daniel's Country Cocktails for the Town Home Punch. Yeah, I went for a bitch drink today. I gotta drive later.
Shout out to Guinness, because I also have to drive later, but I'm not a bitch.
Yeah, well, yeah.
No, fair.
I didn't feel like having a Guinness today.
Every day is a Guinness day.
Honestly, Guinness is a great way to start the day.
If you ain't starting the way today with the fucking Guinness, you're starting the day the wrong way.
Guinness
You
with
let
a
that
side.
one marinate, huh?
Oh, you gotta get it going.
So,
Guinness with a side of potato.
A little bit
just a
of
little bit of
potatoes on the
potatoes.
side.
So gentlemen, how did our weeks go, Joe?
It was alright. Work was fine. Got through it.
Anything abnormal? Fun?
Oh, I got to see my sis. That was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, she came up from Florida, so I got to see it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty standard week for me as well. I got to see my nephew for a little bit, and then yesterday I was put in charge of basically my entire shift for the day, and because the supervisor left and everything got fucking done. We executed everything we needed to do, and I got to leave early. So yeah.
That's the best
Any
part
day
of
you
the
get to
day.
leave early is a good day.
yeah, showing everybody who daddy is and getting stuff done. That's what's important. Josh, what about you?
Well, at my job, I've started doing background checks on potential hires, and of course, I had to look at myself. And all I've really found out is that when I got a speeding ticket in Vermont, that they stole my money. The police are stealing from me because I have no record of that speeding ticket. They just took my money.
Interesting.
The cops in Vermont are thugs.
Well, in a lot of states they're thugs, but apparently the Vermont.
I'm going out on a limb here, very hot take. Vermont is one of the worst states in the country, maybe the world.
Them fucking hippies out there with that goddamn marijuana.
Just completely cutting off an entire state of possible
Let's
viewers.
take Vermont and push it somewhere else.
Wait, can we do that with Florida and California as well?
We should keep Florida because
It's
Where
entertaining.
are we gonna put
It's-
the old people?
It's entertaining. One, it's where the old people go, and it's also incredibly entertaining to learn about a
Florida man.
Florida man possibly sexually assaulting an alligator. That was a real headline.
You missed the one today where a woman put poison on her crotch so she would poison and kill her husband while he ate her out.
Oh my goodness!
And not realizing that
Genius.
it's poison.
Well, that's also so poison would be appropriate because poison you ingest, venom is injected. So technically, her mind's in the right place with that, but I'm pretty sure it could also some poisons can be absorbed through the skin.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. I'm just. Are you taking that chance?
Imagine if it backfired completely and everything down there broke out in a hives or a rash.
What if he just decided that I have a headache and I'm not in the mood?
I'm not in the mood. You're turning this down? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, why does it smell like spore cleanse? Almonds, wait, isn't that supposed to be like cyanide?
Yeah, why is this supposed to smell like almonds?
Okay. So other than we got on a tangent of Florida, we figured that for this week's episode, we were going to do our top 5 favorite action movies. However, what we all found was action is a genre that is so broad and far-reaching that we just couldn't narrow it down to top 5. So we're going to do a last-minute Hail Mary here, and we're just going to kind of talk about some of our favorites and the reason why they're our favorites.
And the reason why I hate most of them that these guys like.
Probably.
I've got
Probably. There's always got to be that cynical view, though. You know what I mean? It keeps you based. So it keeps you based. So, would anybody like to go first?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take this, and I'm going to come right out of the gate with The Raid 1 and 2.
The Raid.
Those are really good. I forgot about those when I was making my list.
They're basically just people go in building and fight, really, really hard and kind of realistic looking for the entire runtime.
Interesting. You know what? I may be a little uncultured here because I don't think I've ever seen either.
If you haven't seen The Raid 1 and 2, well, we're putting those on the docket.
Fix that.
Yes. If you want to just be fuck John Wick. Great movie, John Wick. But, come on.
So is it here's my question as somebody who hasn't watched it. What's the thesis? What's the plot?
The first one is a dude is going... Oh, spoiler alert. You've got 3, 2, 1. A dude is part of like the police force, and there's like a tenement building just full of gangsters and a drug lord at the top, and they're like, we're gonna go in and take him out. But there's some back stuff happening, like his brother's in there and he's trying to pull him out, but the cops go in and just get fucking wrecked.
Now,
Except for the main character who goes in there and literally is just like kicking the shit out of him. He kills a dude with a door frame.
oh, that's pretty badass.
It's very bad.
Let me ask this: am I the only one who almost immediately drew a parallel to the new Judge Dredd movie?
Yeah, kind of.
Goes into an apartment building that's
It's
owned
different.
by a gang lord, and they get fucked up. Which also, now that I've mentioned it, that's a really
Yeah, it
good
was a
remake.
good one.
That was like
Well,
I think it's
I mean-
Carl Urban who plays
Yeah.
Dredd in that. So I might have to add that to like one of my over the top, or even technically that would be comics, so you can technically count that as a superhero action movie.
I gotta throw in here. You said Carl Urban is acting that. No, Carl Urban's mouth is doing all the work.
Yeah,
You don't
just the
see
gr-
anything on
just the
his
grimace,
face.
just looking that incredibly hard grimace that he has.
Most actors are like, show my face. Carl Urban's like, just show my teeth. Look at it.
So that's the thing. Well, you could also draw parallels to say like Bane, Tom Hardy as Bane in the Dark Knight series, where it's literally his eyes. It's just his eyes.
Yeah, but it really undercuts it. Yeah, he's talking through a diaper. It's
I
like,
can't wait to see your mother later.
yeah, it's his mother's dead.
I'll
That's
show
not-
Okay, so
Father's
the
Day.
raid. So basically, they go into this gang-controlled apartment, and it just gets fucking
The
haywire.
police just basically get wiped out. They all die
Is
except
it-
like 2 people.
I was gonna say, so is it like it's like gritty, almost kind of like trying to be realistic?
It's
Yeah,
a really
Is it, like,
heavy.
is it like over the top?
It's heavy on the martial arts.
It's heavy. It's not over to the top. No, I wouldn't say they go like, oh, he's jumping off walls. No,
It's not like hard boiled.
real.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
hard boiled. That's one to talk about. But yeah, the Raid Redemption and the Raid 2.
Great.
Fantastic movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let me give you. So one of the hardest. I'll take the next one on this. One of the hardest categories I had to look at and decide on was sci-fi action. Again, because it's a broad-reaching category, and technically, if you could include Star Wars in sci-fi action if you wanted to. So one of the reasons I looked at this one specifically is because there's so many good classics that came out of it. There's Aliens. Terminator 2 was a great fucking example. Judgment Day with the liquid Terminator.
I will give it up. Terminator 2 is a great movie, but it
Predator.
doesn't do it for me nowadays. Predator does it for me constantly.
That's a
It's-
fantastic fucking movie.
Long Tongue Sally.
But
Long Tall Sally.
I'm gonna hear what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring it into a more modern one because those are classics that I feel like you always hear about because they are a strong classic that is timeless. But one movie that I found is low budget. I do believe it's underrated. Was the movie called Upgrade, and essentially it takes place in 2046. It's a guy who fixes old-fashioned muscle cars essentially for millionaires, while his wife works at one of the leading tech companies. And what ends up happening is one day while delivering the old-fashioned muscle car to this millionaire, I believe the autopilot on the car malfunctions and they get robbed. The wife gets killed and he gets shot in the spine to cripple him. And this same millionaire who he's worked with in the past and dropped off cars gives him a system called a STEM system, essentially. And over the film, you see him transition from playful husband to depressed paraplegic to unstoppable robotic killing machine. And one of the reasons that I love it is it used like a gyroscopic camera setup to hit different angles, and the choreography was such that it very much felt like the stem, not the person, was in control.
Well, have you seen Hardcore Henry?
I have seen Hardcore Henry.
Which is a great first-person action film.
That one,
Which is
that
awesome.
one did slip under the radar. That one, I very much enjoyed that.
I can't think of his name right now. I can look it up in a second. But the guy that's in that from South Africa, I love that man. I want him to be in everything. He's just great. He just full sends on everything he does.
Oh, what the hell? He was in District 9. The main
Yeah.
actor of District 9. What is
Yeah.
his name?
Well, do a quick googly search here.
Oh my god, yeah, because in that he has just got, a bunch of clones, and he's just clinically nuts. I think, I should have said spoiler alert for Upgrade, but now spoiler alert for...
Let's just throw out a blanket spoiler alert here for just pretty much we're gonna spoil
everything.
it.
Yeah, every movie title that we say we could be going in depth for.
Well, we haven't done that so far, but yeah.
His name is Sharp. I'm going to butcher it, but Sharpto Copley.
Let me see this thing. Oh my goodness. Okay, what do we got here? Charlotte Copley. Charlotte Copley. God damn. Well, that is a name and a half, but you know what? Man's a legend.
He's a legend in go Johannesburg, where he's from, man. Yeah, fuck yeah.
So one of my favorite scenes, one of the best scenes, is when they enter. I think it's
They're
in a Russian. They're in a Russian.
Did you know they ran out of water last year?
What, South Africa?
We do not need to go into water on this podcast.
If we're gonna go on a tangent, let's keep about the movies.
All right.
But the best scene, in my opinion, because it's the most entertaining scene, is the scene where he's in. I believe it's a Russian. What would you call it?
Tank.
No, he's in like a
APC.
He's basically in the red light district, and he's in like a brothel. There you go, brothel. So
out of all people, you don't know what brothel means? Come on.
What kind of lifestyle do you think I lead? Moving forward. So he's in a Russian brothel, and this character is one of the clones, and he is just ripped up manically on cocaine, and it is super, super entertaining. And the fight scenes coming from first person are just incredibly fucking well done, I must say.
Alright, Joe, what's on your list?
So, I'm going to take one off your list before you say it. For my list, by the way, I also tried to make a top 5, and I gotta say, like, it was super hard. Like, I kept going, well, you can't do that. That's a superhero movie. That's its own category. That's a fantasy movie. That's its own category. Even though they're all really action movies. But I'm going to pull one off the sci-fi list, if you would, but it is a great action film in itself. Aliens. Everything about it. I love everything about it. I love the cast. I love the action in it. I love just how it has the horror elements, but it doesn't go too hard into it. Like the first one, it's really its own action movie, and I just love the dialogue in it is great. Like, it's such a quotable movie. You can quote the whole movie.
So to piggyback off that, one thing I love about the classic Aliens, well, one, Sigourney Weaver.
Oh yeah,
bad bitch status. Permanently.
Straight.
I love that back in it was the mid-70s. I want to say did that
when Alien, I believe, was 79. This was
so
80s.
I like the fact that before the now modern trope of a strong female protagonist had come out, she had already been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
When these movies came out in the 70s, like
she's the OG.
She was a pioneer.
And the best part about it wasn't in your face. Like, she had this strong leadership quality. She knew what she had to do. She took to action. She was a smart, cunning character, and she also had that maternal, I guess, instinct when it came to saving Newt.
Yes, the entire movie is like about motherhood in a way.
Exactly.
Like, she loses her daughter, finds her daughter. There's a queen alien that's birthing everything.
It exemplifies, like, I guess, the power that she gained from that, I guess, that maternal instinct, and it made her a strong female character, but not an in-your-face, I'm a strong female character.
No, here's what it did. It made her a strong character.
In general,
That's all
I will say that.
Yeah.
I will say, yeah. So in that sense, it's a classic. Plus, you can never forget the hug me scene. The alien pops out.
Oh yeah.
Hug me.
That's Alien.
Oh, is that the original Alien?
Yeah, when they're in the vents, he just goes, ugh.
Yeah,
okay, that's Alien.
I mistake that one. That's my apologies, but
You get out.
Sleep. There's like so. Fuck you, Gorman. I always
were an
learn
asshole.
Gorman.
All right, Josh, what do you have, good sir?
Well, I'm going to take it off in another area and say From Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh
Because-
man.
Now,
classic.
Joe and I here have watched all 4 or 5 of the From Dusk Till Dawn movies, and they get progressively stupider and worse.
Yes, they do.
Are they all Quentin Tarantino? Or
No.
just the original one?
Just the original one.
Of course. So the best one, of course.
Yeah, but I loved, the first time you sit someone down to watch this movie, and they're like, what is this, a heist movie?
Yeah.
And then it takes the hardest left turn into, oh fuck, vampires.
Yeah.
And then you've got Cheech Marin up there saying, pussy, pussy, pussy.
We got every kind of pussy.
We know what pussy, sticky pussy.
My favorite fucking part of that entire movie is the one scene where Salma Hayek is doing her, Queen Snake dance.
Oh.
And she takes her bare foot and puts it in Quentin Tarantino's mouth.
He totally
full
wrote
well
that.
knowing that this man has a publicly acknowledged foot fetish.
He wrote that into the script going, do you think she's actually going to do it? Oh my
And
god,
she fucking
this
did
is my
it.
fucking dream.
Yeah, I mean, to be Jesus
Well,
Christ,
I mean,
this
the
man was
only-
this man was bricked up in that scene. 200%.
You own your kink, and then you make a lifestyle where you can live your kink.
And the best part is, I'm pretty sure, like most actors and actresses that have worked with him have acknowledged this, and they're more than willing to do it, which is the funniest fucking thing about it.
Well, he's like one of the last auteurs, I think, out there, like in the mainstream at least. He just shows up and says, "Yeah, I'm gonna make my next movie," and they're like, "Yeah, just do it.
Just do whatever you want."
And so here's the thing. I think what's important about Quentin Tarantino is the fact that, one, he understands like real, true cinema. Like he understands the importance of lighting, the importance of certain dialogue, the way characters express their emotions, and the fact that he's not afraid to offend people. Like take a look at Django Unchained.
Oh, yeah.
Django Unchained got backlash because it drops the N-word, 50 times? 50,
Because
60,
no one-
70
Also,
times?
a great
No one
action
actually-
movie too.
But that's the thing, it was necessary because he was quoted himself trying to give a superhero, I guess, to the African slave in the colonial period, I guess. And so if you're going to make a movie like that, you have to understand that's how they spoke back then. And then he got backlash, and it's like, what sense does that make?
Yeah.
You
Also,
know?
just like the scene where like Django breaks into the big house. Oh my god, the blood flying in that scene, the ridiculousness of it. Even in the beginning of the movie where the guy gets shot like while he was stuck under the horse and the blood shoots up like 10 feet in the air. It's not realistic, but I love it.
You know, I will say that scene, I think, where it's like, are you sure that's him? It's like, are you positive?
Are you
What's
positive?
mean?
It means, are you sure?
Yeah, and he shoots him, and the blood hits the cotton.
Oh,
Like, that's good symbolism in my mind.
chef's kiss.
Gabagool.
Oh.
Tarantino's great. If I'm correct, he still shoots on real film too, which
Yeah.
he always calls it. It's a moving picture. It's an illusion,
Yeah.
which makes it, a
Yeah.
little hoity-toity to me. But I understand where
And
he's coming
it's
from.
fucking-
And he has a cameo in almost every single one of his movies, I believe,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, he usually shows up, and half the time he dies.
Well, to bring it up, here's another one that I actually don't have on my list, but you all just reminded me of it.
Inglourious Bastards.
Also fantastic. God damn it.
Bring out the
But
bear, dude.
I'm going to go more towards the action instead of the historical, and I'm going to go with the Kill Bill series.
That is on my list because, well,
It was a hard one to not make my top 5.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's like a quintessential type of action movie, because the amount of blood, they had to black and white a scene just cause so much blood.
And I mean, if you think about it, like it's over the top action first and foremost. It's gory in your face to the point where like the blood splatter almost makes it comical. And the fact, like, when are you going to get a movie where it's a 1v88 and the one comes out alive and it's like a spinning ball high school girl fight? Like, I love it. And the fact that they mixed in like a little bit of anime when going to the backstories, the music score, like it's an over the top fantastic movie. And I think Uma Thurman killed it.
We still had to see her ugly feet, though.
Well, of
She
course,
didn't have to show off the feet.
it's every movie. Every Quentin Tarantino movie's gonna have feet in it.
Do you think he's just like off frame, just watching like the return going, oh yeah, that's a fucking shit. That's a
He's definitely drooling.
He's a professional, all right? He waits till he gets home.
He waits till he gets home and he's just like,
And then he has his giant home theater.
yeah, he's watching the the returns, just like, oh yeah, there's the feet. Play it back.
Wait,
And
let
you
me hear
watch
the
it
line one
again.
more time. Say it again. Wiggle your big toe.
Yeah, that's what does it for me.
So I technically skipped order, Josh. So why don't you go next?
Oh, well, I'm going to go back to another classic Christmas movie, Die Hard.
Oh my
Oh,
God! All right, that was good. That was on my list. That was
Die
definitely on my
Hard
list.
should be on everybody's list, not the shitty ones that follow. The second one's okay, then it drops off very fast.
I think.
Well, I would like to say the third one is still good. It's not as good as the other two, but yeah, once you hit the fourth one,
It's just, all you really need is that first movie with Alan Rickman, and if I recall correctly, his first acting role, when he just said, fuck it, I'm going to be an actor, and killed it.
Yeah, I did. Wasn't that Bruce Willis's first foray into action?
I think so.
yeah, because he was just like the love interest guy in a bunch of rom-coms.
Right. Yeah, like a bunch of, I was going to say comedy movies, but I think that was his first like real step into action. They almost didn't cast him because they're like, hey, can you fucking do this? And then like I'm pretty sure he did like ballet. So he's like incredibly coordinated. Like, and you can see there's a few scenes where he's like, his movement in the movie itself is like very well done. And I
What
think
about his feet in the movie?
Was his feet there? Was his feet
His
there?
Actually,
feet,
if it's
his
really
feet
cut
gets
out,
cut. Shoot the glass.
yeah. I will say I think Die Hard can fit into like the over the top action series, but what makes it good is that typically when you have like an over-the-top action series,
You got Arnold.
it gets harder and harder to believe. Like, logic gets suspended as the action movie goes on, right? Like Arnold fucking one-handing an M60. I'm sorry, I don't think anyone can one-hand an M60.
Well, Stallone did the same thing.
Right, and
First Blood, which is on my list.
Fair. But I think what Die Hard does very well is it keeps you based. It keeps you grounded in, I guess, the realness of the film itself. It doesn't go so over the top that you forget you're supposed to be watching like a realistic action movie.
Because Bruce Willis is just a dude.
He's
Yeah,
just a
he's
guy.
just like a cop.
He's a cop, but he has his gun on the plane. Very
Hey,
irresponsible.
that was before,
yeah.
the one.
Yeah.
But still, he really embodied the role, and I think he did very well.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
He went out to the coast, he had a few laughs.
Yeah, we got it together.
Joe, what you got next, dog?
My next one is kind of out of left field, but I felt the one scene in the movie differentiated enough from a fantasy movie to call it an action film, and that's Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers.
All right, I disagree. I do not think this belongs.
You do not believe this is an action movie?
Can
I argue for it first?
Technically, so technically it is fantasy, right? It is very much fantasy, but the fact that there's fighting, the fact that there's war and there's melee combat, alone gives it.
It's a fantasy movie with action scenes, and it's a very well done scenes. But it doesn't do it for me.
For me, the big scene that brought it into an action movie and not just a fantasy movie is the Helm's Deep Siege. It's perfectly choreographed. The lighting is great. It's iconic as hell after it came out. Just before how well it was done, how much was practically made, how they had volunteers out there doing the orc scenes, and it was really not that CG for the orcs. They had a lot of volunteers, and then they did copy and paste a few, because you can't have 10,000 volunteers out in the field.
You could if you cared about your movie.
Hey, listen here.
The best quote by Gimli, I believe he says,
Toss me.
"Toss me." What?
I just want to toss me. I'm too short. I can't make the job.
Don't
everyone.
tell the elf.
Don't tell the elf. I killed 43, and he shoots an arrow at him, and he's like, "What was that for?" And he's like, "He was moving. He's got my axe in his central nervous system. Of course he's moving." Which, man knows about central nervous systems.
My favorite also line from that is, I can't see. Look, well, do you want me to find you a box?
And then we have, I think we have the director going on just a fuck it kind of binge where he takes Legolas and he puts him on a shield and sends him down as he just Legolas. Yeah, just crushes 15 orcs with arrows, and it's beautiful.
Arrows. Nature's gun.
Nature's gun.
Pew.
Gotcha.
Funny fucking shit. Okay. I'm gonna take a foray into superhero action. And Josh, I think you'll like this one. Unacceptable! Josh, I think you're gonna enjoy this one. The very first Blade movie.
That's on my list, just the Blade series, minus the third one and
Yeah.
the TV show and the other shit that came out.
I didn't even know. Wait, there's a TV.
There's a TV show, and guess who plays Blade? Sticky Fingers.
Sticky Fingers.
He's a rapper.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No.
But either way, yeah, Blade 1, let's just start with 1, that opening scene in the Blood Rave.
Confusion.
Blood Rave.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Fucking
Dubstep.
90s dubstep club music blasting as he's just fucking staking people.
Yeah. This is another unpopular opinion. The Avengers, I don't give a shit about. You show me Blade 1 and 2 where it's this was in the 90s. He was, before anything else. This is what kicked off the Marvel stuff to me.
I will say this. I think
Save superhero.
I think the problem is with modern superhero movies is yes, they come from comics which were meant for children. So there's not necessarily a lot of gore when it comes to it in those situations, but I think if they dared to go Because they're PG-13, I believe.
Well, they're all PG-13, and like Deadpool comes out with R.
And look how necessary the gore was, is what I'm saying. Like, you take Blade, this man murdered a lot of fucking vampires. Because that's what he does. And they knew it had to be rated R, because he's fucking murdering vampires.
The true problem with modern Marvel movies is what I've heard is that they make the action scenes and the set pieces before they have the script. And they write around that.
Interesting.
So instead of, okay, we have character X and Y going through this, and then this happens, it's this happens, get X and Y there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no real story, it's just set pieces and explosions and quippy dialogue. And I mean, Blade had some stupid quippy dialogue, like motherfuckers always trying to ice skate uphill. But
or when he, like, in this, I think it was the second one, where he pulls up, stops his bike, and looks at his car and kisses at it. I love that, dude. That was fucking fantastic.
A little levity in your vampire murder.
But no, I gotta say, I think it was really well done. Like, some of the CGI is definitely dated.
Oh yeah, La Magra, the blood god at the end, and the vampire skeletons ripping out of people's mouths. Not good.
But I really like the fact that it was dark. There was as much realism as you can get with a modern vampire movie.
Well, he rips a vampire's throat out and throws it at another one.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the point you need to hit there.
But they're absolute classics, and I'm sorry, but for like a superhero movie, I'm gonna just say it, for a superhero movie, there's no intro better than when that blood rave occurs and Confusion is playing. That yeah, it's insane. That was fantastic. So in preparation for this, I watched that last night. I watched the first Blade last night, and I still get goosebumps. It's like Lord of the Rings, and the fact that, like, the first scene in the Shire of the Lord of the Rings, when that somber music comes in, it hits somewhere deep in your core, and I love it, and it just makes me feel emotional.
Core. I feel nothing when I watch Lord of the Rings. I'm just like, why won't the elves die faster?
Rude.
No, I'm racist.
We don't need to get into our D&D campaigns.
And I don't know. There's nothing that's gonna beat that first rave scene for me, because that was just beautiful, and it just gets me amped. Juice.
Right, so earlier we talked about Predator. I want to bring Predator 2 in on this because I think it is incredibly underrated. I mean, it's not, masterclass, but it is underrated.
I would have to say I think it's a good one as well. I think it's a very good movie.
I mean, it's Danny Glover in that, right?
Danny Glover, Gary Busey's
I always get
in there.
him and his son confused, but yeah, fucking kills it in that movie.
Yeah, he does pretty good.
It's great when he goes fucking insane at the end.
There's one shot that's always bothered me in that movie, and Gary Busey is standing behind like the hanging meat in the freezer.
Yeah, that's the one.
And the Predator cuts him in half, and all you see is the legs fall over and blood come down. Where the fuck is his top half?
Gary Busey's just holding on to it. He's hanging on. If I'm not down the ground, I'm not dead yet. Yeah.
Gary Busey, also, I think, underrated. There's a movie that I want to watch, here's the tangent, where it's Gary Busey is hiding in a family's wall. And I need to watch this movie.
No, this does not exist.
It exists. Or I was like really drunk and somehow made this up.
All right,
you bought this house, it comes with a Gary Busey in your wall.
He just busts through the wall.
Here's Busey.
Look at my teeth.
No, it's like just imagine like your kids pouring like their milk before they put their cereal in like a fucking troglodyte, and Gary Busey's face just comes out of the drywall. That's not the right order, and then he just smiles with that toothy fucking grin. Oh my god! You know what? I think I would like to have a Gary Busey in my wall.
Oh yeah, he'd keep the house safe.
All right.
Not from himself, but from intruders.
Another question, completely random, left turn. We'll go on a small tangent for this one. If you had to pick any person in this world, alive or dead, to narrate your life, who would it be? I will go first. Samuel L. Jackson.
You can't take what I was going to do. You fucking piece of shit.
I'm
That's
sorry.
What I was gonna say.
You're telling me right now that like you wouldn't want, wake up, motherfucker, every morning? I would love it. I'd be so motivated.
Well, so you guys both pick Sam Jackson?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't come to mind. For me, I'd want it to almost be annoying a little bit, too, because I want other people to hear it. Christopher Walken. You gotta get up, man. Come on. We gotta go get groceries. I miss my strawberries.
You gotta start your day.
Your day. You got work. You gotta pay those bills.
See, I would just want Sam Jackson being like, Like, you go out with a girl, that's my motherfucker. Oh, yeah.
Give me a disappointed Samuel L. Jackson.
You fucking whipping it out again? This is the fucking third time this week, you fucking piece of shit.
Yes, you deserve to die, and I hope you burn in hell.
It's like you're about to get in a fight. Does he look like a bitch? Oh my god.
Kill this motherfucker.
Oh, you know what? Christopher Walken just reminded me of that robot from Courage the Cowardly Dog again. All I want to do is just do my wood.
I just want to whittle.
Okay, I think who went last? I went last.
I think I gotta go next.
Yeah,
Joe goes.
There's no real forum here.
We're just kind of going at this point.
This Minky Boodle's hitting quite right. I'm not gonna lie.
I really like the taste of mine, the bitch drink, but I pounded that shit. It's gone. My next movie is a classic. I just moved my mic. Black Hawk Down.
Still haven't seen it.
You're a fucking piece of shit.
I'm well
I gotta
aware.
fix that today.
So it has been years since I've seen it, but from the research that I've done and the readings that I've done in preparation for this, one of the most common reoccurrences when it comes to war-based action movies is Black Hawk Down.
It's fucking fantastic. The little minute details in that movie are great. The dude at the beginning of the movie that's like, I'm not putting in my black back plate for my armor because I'm not going to get shot in the back while running away, and then someone like pops out of a roof and shoots him in the back, and
Does he platoon it where he's like...
Well, he falls to his knees, his blood shoots out of his mouth, and he fucking falls over.
So he doesn't quite, but close enough. No one can Willem Dafoe.
And poor Orlando Bloom, who we all thought, like, they kept showing him, you think he's going to be a main character, and then, like, 2 seconds into the actual, like, Black Hawk Down scene, he falls out of the fucking helicopter and breaks his fucking neck.
Yep.
More like Orlando Bloom down.
Orlando Bloom down.
Wow.
But, like...
His name's Orlando.
Orlando Bloom down to Gloomtown.
Not to spoil the movie for you, but there's some great acts of heroism in it, and it's all based on a true story.
Patriotic.
Very patriotic movie. America.
Fair. Do you have a favorite scene from said movie?
It is probably the scene where the 2 Delta Force operators go to the helicopter and, like, destroy it and are shot down, fighting off a obscene amount of people.
Interesting.
And then, sadly, they get dragged through the street, which actually ended up on, like, the news at the time. My dad told me he remembers that, like, images of that, watching it on, like, CBS, being like, this happened in Mogadishu today. And
yeah, yep. You know what this reminded me of? What's that movie with Mark Wahlberg, the Navy SEALs? There's 4 of them. They have their squad get shot down. And Mark
Lone
Wahlberg.
Survivor.
Okay, so Lone Survivor. I gotta say, I gotta give that one like a good mention here because I enjoyed that movie. It was probably over the top, but I actually really enjoyed that movie. And one of my favorite scenes in that movie, and it's kind of for a dark reason, is when they finally get the distress call out and you have the chopper full of other Navy SEALs and you think, holy shit, they're gonna get rescued. It's going to have a relatively good ending if you don't actually know what happened, because I didn't know what actually happened in the real life situation, but then a rocket gets shot and just takes down the entire chopper, and it's just like that entire idea of rescue just went out the fucking window.
Yeah, I remember I remember watching that in the news before the movie came out, and I remember them talking about it being like, well, they lost a whole helicopter of Navy SEALs, and I forget where it is. But yeah, I remember that, just watching that in the news, being like, wow. And then the movie, like, when I saw the scene, I was just like, damn.
Yeah.
Can't imagine. Being his name's Mark Luttrell, right?
I believe so, something
and he's just, like, standing there, like, watching that happen, knowing, like, I'm not only losing my friends right now in front of me, but I just lost all my friends up there, too.
Yeah, and just lost any hope of rescue.
Be devastating.
Yeah. Yeah. Intense.
And the scene with I don't remember the other actor's name or what his character name was, so I feel bad about that. But the scene where he gets, like, it's like seconds later in the movie after that helicopter crash happens, and he gets, like, shot, like, multiple times, and And he's just like, you can tell his like lung has collapsed, and he's just going.
But he's like the most badass one who's like preaching. He's like, I am the Reaper. That character.
I am the Reaper.
He like got shot in the back of the head.
Yeah, he gets shot literally in the head, and he's just like, I can still do this.
And I
want to go home.
Yeah, he's still going, and he's literally quoting to himself like, I am death. I am the Reaper. And he's dropping people left and right. Like, it's crazy to believe that. Like, yes, that's a intense scene, but there's people like that exist. Blows my mind. Warriors. Josh, next selection.
I'm gonna go with GoldenEye.
Interesting.
I thought so too, but when
Secret
he's
Agent.
in like St. Petersburg driving a tank through the place, you've seen GoldenEye.
So here's the problem. I have not watched a 007 movie in over a decade.
I don't blame you. I would agree that I don't think he did a bad job. The new guy, what's his name?
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. I don't think he did a bad job. I just don't really care
He
anymore.
wasn't my James Bond.
My James Bond is Pierce Brosnan.
Same, that's who I grew up with.
That's who I grew up
Well,
with.
this came out mid '90s, right?
I think so.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe so.
And I liked that movie. If I had to pick a James Bond movie,
It's not early 80s.
Yeah, I'm gonna say GoldenEye because just the Nintendo 64.
I was going to
version
say
as
the
well.
video game.
Oh my god.
I mean, if you go back and try to play it now, I tried
It's
to do that earlier
terrible.
this week. It's
Bad.
terrible. But
Do you ever remember? Wait, was that the same one where you could get the big head cheat?
yes,
Oh
Big
my
head cheat,
god.
so many
Odd
cheats.
Job, Golden Gun.
Yep. I remember that. Well, the main actor, you said it was Pierce Brosnan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, all right. So now I'm more familiar.
Mars Attacks alumnus.
Mars Attacks.
Yeah.
Should we count that as an action movie?
No,
No.
that is strict. They kill him with polka. They kill the Martians with polka music. It's not an action movie.
Technically action movie.
Okay, everything's an action movie. Take a
Ghost
video
of
of me
Mars.
taking a shit. That's an action movie then.
It's action
If you
for your
film it
bubble.
right,
Exactly.
if you film it correctly,
Are
you
we
can
talking
make
about the
that
right
an
angle
action
though? Is that what
At
we're
angles and we have like little bacteria running away from the poop falling in the toilet. We can make this thing work.
All right, so I'm gonna
Haven't
go.
you seen the scene from the food fucking movie, Sausage
Oh
Party,
yeah, that was an interesting movie.
You guys talk all
where
over
they
the room, I don't
recreate
care.
Saving Private Ryan,
So-
which is a great fucking movie.
So I'm gonna take with my next choice. I'm gonna take a foray into action comedy, and there's a couple that I want to mention here.
You get one at a time.
This is a tough one because there's two classics. One's more overtly comedic based, and one's a good mix of action and comedy. I'm gonna say The Legend of the Drunken Master with Jackie Chan. So-
Not a bad pick.
Not a bad pick.
I think the reason I liked it so much is that typically with an action comedy, you have one that overshadows the other one, right? Like an action movie with a little bit of comedy to kind of break up the seriousness, or a comedy with a little bit of action that's too comedy leaning.
Like Rush Hour.
I think yes, but I think Legend of the Drunken Master is a good mix because they play on each other, based on the fact that he's an average martial artist, but the drunker he gets, the more comedic value the movie has, but also the better he gets at fighting. So I think it balances each other. And I think it's the ending scene. It's been a very long time since I've seen it, but I think the ending fight was the fact that he was fighting multiple men in the street, and they're just tossing liquor bottles to him to drink. And he finally drinks one, and he almost spits it out, and he goes, "What the hell was that?" She goes, "What does a skull mean?" And he just goes, "Ah, good stuff." And just proceeds to get like so drunk that he's like incredibly good, and then he takes that drunken pose where he's stammering, but he's and he like takes that like backwards pose as he's like tipping back and forth.
Drunken Master is my favorite fake martial art. It's just, it's cool. If any video games are like, yeah, go Drunken Master, I would go for it. I think
Yeah.
Jade Empire does a version of that. Which-
Mortal
Bo Rai
Kombat
Cho?
has one. Bo Rai
That's
Cho.
not Bo Rai Cho, but that's like one
Mortal
of my most.
Kombat, right?
Yeah, it's
No, I was
Bo-
talking about Jade Empire.
Oh, I was gonna say Bo Rai Cho is the
Yeah.
one who trained Kung Lao and
He trained a bunch of
Liu
dudes.
Kang. He trained them both, but wasn't he supposed to be like a drunken master?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
I
his style.
hate his character.
Oh.
It's just I'm a big dude who drinks. It just doesn't do it for me.
I mean, fair, but like, where do you think that came from? Like the trope of the drunken master.
It is a martial arts form.
I
I'd
get it,
call
but I
fake.
don't think it's. I don't. You see, here's the problem. It's like with ancient martial arts forms, a lot of it was actually it wasn't focused towards actual fighting. It was more of a fitness thing, a peace of mind, a meditation thing, flexibility,
I mean, Shaolin monks.
general health. Yes, Shaolin monks, but they don't practice something like Drunken fucking Master, which isn't like a real thing. Like, take Steven Seagal, okay? You want to talk about action movies, let's go to the worst of the worst and go to some Steven Seagal movies, especially his modern ones. But he's an actual Aikido master. Like, he is a recognized Aikido, like, martial artist, right? But it's not the fact that he's a master at it, it's the fact that if it's applicable in a real life fight, which it's not.
But is he an actual fighter though? Come on.
So he actually used to, I believe he actually trained in China. Like, he lived in China for like several years, and he trained and became a recognized Aikido master. He is an actual black belt, a recognized black belt in Aikido. Does he fight now? No, he fights the line to the fucking donut shop. Man is fat as hell.
Yeah.
But again, it's not whether or not he's a recognized like black belt. He is, by all intents and purposes, whatever he is. But the fact it's the question of whether that is an actual viable fighting style, and it's not.
Did you see? I'm sorry, I'm like totally shitting on Steven Seagal right now. Did you see him? Like, I think it's Sniper 4.
Oh, you should shit on him
Because he literally is just going, and like throws a karate chop into the guy goes,
Don't shit on Steven Seagal. We need him to make us entertained.
Those movies are
You're fat and
He's doing the worst movies imaginable.
Yeah, oh my god, there's like, and I love how the movies always show me he's like sitting down 95% of the time in the movies, and his gut is just there. There's one it was one of his sniper films where like his buddy gets shot and he has to drag him, and you can clearly tell.
I know, he's like,
you can clearly tell the guy's got like a string on him, and he's
Touches him and he like levitates over.
yeah, that's the movie I was talking about. He grabs him by the wrist and he's like dragging him,
and his
like,
movie his body
he's
just
like,
moves perfectly smooth. And it's
he just slides like he's on a mat.
oh, so fucking funny.
We gotta watch some of those.
Another bad movie night.
Another bad movie night.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, I think in a future episode we should cover our favorite bad movies. I think we're gonna all have very similar taste.
Next week on.
Yeah, I do. We're gonna have to show some footage though.
Yeah, well, we can do some cut-ins. We can make that work.
Yeah, we could probably do some. We don't want to do face reveals yet, though.
No, that's on a million subscriber.
Is that an actual
million
thing?
subscribers. If we get 1 million subscribers, and if you sign up for our Patreon, we will do that.
Yeah, give us money and
do
you
we-
can see how
do we-
ugly we are.
Do we have a Patreon?
No.
No,
We just want people to look for it.
someday we might.
Take the effort to type it in and it not be there. Ha fooled you.
Does that mean Spaceballs is an action movie?
Technically,
He shot my hair!
Space.
Damn, I hate it when I get my Schwartz tangled with another.
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine.
That's a movie for another conversation.
Okay.
I'm gonna pose a question with this one.
Okay. What do you
Mad
got?
Max, Fury Road,
Ooh.
or Road Warrior?
Hard choice.
So here's the thing. I haven't seen Road Warrior in a long time. I have seen Mad Max, and I did enjoy it. I would put the newest Mad Max, under action and adventure, and I think it was done.
Slash
very
road
well.
trip movie?
Technically, yes.
We need to get the gasoline.
Okay, now, all right. So now I think we can find ways to link movies into different categories. Mad Max is officially a road trip
It's
movie.
a road trip movie.
It's a rom-com road trip movie.
Can we cut a trailer for that movie? Just a rom-com road trip movie?
Yeah.
We need to do this.
We need to play like a funny
Do
like
you
song.
have
with our-
trouble on your road trips with angry people with machine guns? Well, join Furiosa. Just cuts her like
You know, and it's, you got
pummeling
the
someone's
welcome
face.
to our convoy, rocking to the beat. Okay, so in all seriousness, I thought it was very well done.
I thought it was too, and to me, it is a superior movie to Road Warrior. But Road Warrior has that special place in my heart.
I will
It's a
say
nostalgia classic, right?
It's not even nostalgic. I watched it for the first time when I was like 23.
Oh,
I gotta say, the new one, in my opinion, is better. I love the original Mad Max films, but that one is just so good. And the fact that like almost all the stunts were practical in that movie, they were all real cars, they were all actually crashing. There was actually fucking nut jobs on those fucking poles swinging back and forth between the cars, being like, I'm 2 inches away from death.
That sort of happened on Road Warrior too. Some guy got flung and did like a shit ton of spins and almost died.
So in Mad Max, the first one, they had an extremely low budget for that film, and I love the fun fact of the truck driver that crashes into the guy at the end of the movie on his motorcycle. They just paid him in 2 or 3 cases of beer, and we're like, hey, we're gonna wreck your truck. Can we crash into this motorcycle? And he's just like, for 3 cases of beer? Fuck yeah, man.
No.
And they just did it.
My God.
And all the motorcycle people, like riders in that movie, were like just a local like Hell's Angel type club that they were like, we will pay you in fucking Dos Equis if you fucking come to this movie. And they're like, sure.
The first Mad Max, I didn't really like that much. It's
not the same kind of... Yeah, it became a different an action movie in the second one, really.
Yeah, and I just love how in the second one he's just like, I just want gas. I don't want to help you people.
Yeah.
Just give me the gas. I need to leave.
All right.
And he got his iconic look in that movie.
Yeah, the Fallout leather look.
The Fallout leather created a whole thing.
Let me pose this to you. How do you feel when it comes to old Chinese martial arts movies?
I love them.
Would you count them as action, technically?
Oh, yeah.
They're definitely action, but I just...
Enter the
I don't
Dragon,
love
fucking great.
that.
Bruce Lee doing his thing.
I think... Are you saying older than Bruce Lee?
I'm saying of any genre, so I'm thinking I think Hero with, I believe, Jet Li.
But that's not old. That's a great fucking movie, but that's not old.
I mean,
I own that sword because someone gave it to me.
I mean, how old is the movie now? It's at least 20 years old now.
Yeah, but when I think old, I'm talking like
50s,
60s to like 70s.
What about the 80s?
The 80s is Road Warrior. The 80s is Alien.
Those are old movies.
They are, but
they are now, but not to me.
Not to me. Those are childhood movies. I'm talking like very old. Like
I didn't see
strings.
Like Seven Samurai.
I'm just gonna remind you, 30 approaches, sir.
Don't tell me that. I know. Shut up.
Old motherfuckers.
I don't want to think about it. It's 2 years away. I got time.
You know what? I have one that I don't know if you guys have heard of before. It is called Kundo, Age of the Rampant.
I don't know that one at all.
I think you're pulling.
So, this movie was on Netflix for a while, right? Now, the reason I liked this movie is because it had almost a Tarantino-esque plot design and introduction to characters. So essentially, you're introduced, it kind of tells the backstory, the prequel, the backstory before the story starts. And it introduces the characters in dramatic, action-packed ways. Like, it starts off with a poor guy who's known for having a really hard head. And what he does is he just basically... They tell children, like, though his sister hits him over the head with rocks, and he doesn't care because he's got a hard head, and that's how they make their money. They're super fucking poor. And then he gets caught by a noble and says, hey, I need you to kill this person for me because it actually has the true heir, his stepbrother, to his throne. He's the son of a governor, like a Chinese governor, essentially. And he fails the assassination, his entire family gets killed, and he basically goes to get revenge with a meat cleaver because he's a butcher, and he gets picked up by a secret band of naturally gifted rebel fighters that want to take down this governor, and they each have their own strength. Like, one guy's a master acrobat, one guy's just this big fat guy who's super fucking strong, and the way they introduce them is like, the fat guy will slap a guy, and the guy literally flies through the fucking air, and it goes to freeze frame, and it goes to his name blazoned on beneath him. And it's almost like a Quentin Tarantino introduction to the movies.
No one's ever heard of it.
That's fair. It's a criminally underrated movie. I encourage you guys to watch it if you can find it. It was on Netflix for a very long time. I loved the movie. I watched it a couple times.
You know why you love that movie, right?
Oh, Kung Pao.
Yeah, it rhymes with you, Kung Pao.
See, here's the thing. It has yes, but it also has good action and good plot. Now, do we count Kung Pao?
No, we do not. That is strictly a comedy movie, and we will talk about it next to Spaceballs someday.
Fair.
How many movies we got left? I've got 7.
I think I'm out.
How about for an action adventure? Would we count The Mummy?
I didn't.
I didn't think of the Mummy, but the first movie.
The Mummy. I'd say the Mummy and the second one. Yeah.
If you've ever watched like the third one, don't.
Oh, the newest one, 2017 with the.
No, I'm talking about the third one with Jet Li.
Yeah, no, that's.
Oh, that one. That one was also really wasn't that great. No.
For many reasons that are sad and tragic, I don't want to go into.
I did not enjoy that. No, I gotta say the first two were fucking fantastic.
Brendan Fraser killed it.
Yeah, that man deserved better.
So much better.
Everyone in the cast brought it.
Yeah, they were just good fucking movies. They were entertaining. I think it was the wife's brother was that kind of Weasel-esque character that kind of brought more of the comedy in. The first one almost had horror aspects to it with the mummy like regenerating. I think is Menthatep or whatever the hell his name is. Emotep, that's what it was. Yeah, and he was forever looking for his beloved Anaxunamun.
Oh god. And then they brought in the Scorpion King.
Oh god,
and then they brought in the Scorpion
The worst,
King.
even back then when that movie came out, that was absolutely awful CGI, and I love how bad it was.
It was so bad, and I love the Scorpion King because they just kept making them, and those are all. If you haven't seen them, you want a bad movie, watch those.
If you want a bad movie,
oh my god!
The third Scorpion King.
Okay, so let's do a little tangent here. The first Scorpion King with The Rock,
not a bad
fucking
movie.
loved it. Yeah. Good action movie, good comedy to it, good adventure, all around positively rated. Positively,
everyone knows that.
Positively rated movie all around, but the subsequent movies, the second, third, the fourth, and the fifth, are all so fucking bad. It's funny, Josh. I remember one time we watched this.
We watched the third movie,
and I remember the one thing you complained about. If you would
not
mind.
The second one. Then.
Oh yeah. So if you wouldn't mind if I say it,
I'll go for it. I'll talk about the third one.
So this is the funniest fucking part of this movie because Josh was completely silent up until this fucking part. They're captured, okay. And there's a legion of archers, okay? And their whole deal was they had oil to burn these people to death. And there's hundreds of archers all shoot at once. And only 3 arrows hit. And they managed to break out of their binds and break the oil trails so that the arrows can't hit. And then it cuts to the next scene and Josh goes, did they all just have one fucking arrow? Did every one of those archers just have a single fucking arrow in their quiver? And that's it. Just one arrow for this execution. And it was so funny because it went off on a tangent. I was cracking up. I think I fucking started crying.
I was so pissed off. I'm like, this entire movie has sucked. And then this happens.
Oh my!
You just punched me in the face, movie. You are insulting my intelligence in ways I cannot fathom. One fucking arrow per archer in their military. No wonder they're all losing.
It's afraid they're budgeting.
That's a bad month. We need to cut back on our arrows.
They just go to the director, sir, we don't have enough budget to show this whole scene that you have planned out. It's okay, we can make it work. I don't think we can make this work. No, we'll make it work.
Alright, and then an even arguably funnier scene, the third one, Josh.
The third one, we're sitting there and Boba Fett comes in and he's talking about his daughter.
I forgot it was Boba
They're sitting there after the main character, played by someone completely different, but it's The Rock's character. He's been kicking people in the chest as he dies.
He smart kicks like 6 people in the movie.
It's constant. But Boba Fett comes in and is like, I need you to recover my most prized possession. And he pulls off a sheet of a painting of his daughter. And it is the stupidest looking painting. She's like, maybe I'm hyping it up too much, but she was like cross-eyed, had a unibrow, and he's like, the most beautiful woman. And I almost blacked out from laughing.
It was just so the funniest part was the actors looked at the painting, and you can tell it was their genuine, not their characters, their genuine reaction to the painting, because they're like, absolutely, very beautiful. But like one eye straight, and it's bigger than the other. The other one's looking inwards, like it's cross-eyed. She has like 2 beaver buck teeth, a unibrow, and a weird mole on her face. And it was so fucking funny because Boba Fett, the actor that played Boba Fett, is just so completely serious in this scene that when they revealed this, we were a little drunk, but like
I was stone sober that night.
Mind you. Fuck, that was so funny. I still have that video in my fucking phone.
Save my daughter. Olga.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. And then Billy Zane just being Billy Zane the entire
Billy Zane
movie.
with
Literally,
blue
Billy
lips.
Zane is fucking drunk. He is hammered the entire movie. And he's just
I-
riding around on a chariot, smiling. Like,
Shirt's
I-
open.
Shirt's
Like,
open. He is just like, I am
He's just
here.
living his
I
life.
needed this money from this movie, from my cocaine and my alcohol.
There's got to be like one movie, like every actor I think has a movie that's like a tax break movie.
Oh, well,
It's gotta be.
Just Billy Zane was
what's his
priceless.
name? Jeremy Irons in fucking the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Literally
let
has
their blood rain from the sky.
and he literally has been quoted, "Oh, I just bought a castle. I needed quick cash, so they gave me the part in the movie."
Great fucking stuff.
My God.
Yeah, watch The Scorpion King 3. The rest of them aren't worth it, but the third one, get drunk with friends, watch.
Get drunk, get friends, watch that, finish the night off with Mortal Kombat. Boom, down the hatch.
Alright, Mortal Kombat movies.
Ooh, first.
The first one's great.
No, they're
Don't
both,
watch the second.
They are both terrible.
They're
and I
both terrible,
love
but
them.
they're great.
I love them and don't
The
watch
second
them.
one just is worse to a whole new level.
Yes, and it's the first one you can at least be like, yeah, you know what, I enjoy some of it.
Mm.
But the second one, you have to be watching it ironically.
Yeah. Very true. Very, very true. Who plays Shao Kahn in that movie?
I don't know, but he was in the
Oh.
Orville recently, or this first season of the Orville.
Oh my.
Kahn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shao Kahn. It's a big bald guy.
Shotgun.
Hold on, let me see. It is played by
You're not going to find it that easy.
Brian Thompson.
Damn.
Jesus Christ, he found it too easy.
Yeah, Brian Thompson.
What
My
an
God.
American name.
Brian Thompson. We have a friend named that.
Brian.
Don't
something.
tell other people's names. That's not cool.
His name is this. He lives at this address.
Yeah.
Fight him on the beaches.
Yeah,
Fight
those-
him in the ocean.
Those Mortal Kombat movies were fun, but we got to move on to the next.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
talk about the Kingsman movies.
Ooh, very well done. The first one, wasn't the first one. I haven't seen the second one in a while, but wasn't the first one regarded as being better than the second?
The first one is way better than the second.
Because of the church scene.
Yeah, the church.
Wow,
That's
that
all
alone,
you need to
yeah.
watch.
And it was
Yeah.
Free Bird playing in the background.
Freebird
Oh
fucking
yeah.
wrecked it.
Oh my
Second one,
God.
still good. Not as
Good
good.
movie. The
Friday
third
the
one?
Americans.
Third one, not so great.
Wait. There's a third Kingsman.
It was
We don't
like
talk about the third Kingsman
Wait, there's a
movie.
third.
There's a
Don't
third one,
talk
but-
about the third Kingsman movie. I will. Hold on, I gotta move my mic away from my mouth. I hate that fucking movie with a passion. They fucked that up. They fucked that movie. The minute he shot the fucking son in that movie, God fucking damn it, I'm putting my foot down. It's a shit movie. It's a shit movie.
Oh, this is Russia, isn't it? Well,
It's, yeah.
When,
Rob
I would say
Rasputin.
the only funny scene in the movie is when Rasputin comes up and he goes, "I need to fix your leg," and he starts doing cunnilingus on the guy's bullet wound. And everyone in the theater that was with me was just like, I looked around and people were like,
what the
"What
fuck?
the fuck is happening right now?"
I didn't hate it as much as you apparently did, but it
Fuck
was
it.
not. It didn't live up to it.
Interesting.
But the first one, the second one, highly recommend if you haven't seen it. But I think
No, the first one and the second one is great. We are running out of time, so I'm just going to really quickly throw in.
How are we running out of time?
We are running out of time.
We've got plenty of time. We've got another 40 minutes.
What?
Yeah, let's just finish our lists.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
can keep going.
Number one on my list. The number one, the John Wick series. Fuck yeah! No one
Interesting.
brought it there. I'm bringing it there. Fucking, they killed his dog.
Good movies, but I don't love them.
You lie.
I enjoyed them
You
heavily.
lie.
I don't love them.
You gotta love him. It's Keanu at his peak.
No, Keanu at his peak.
Was the original Matrix movie in my
Probably
opinion.
the original Matrix and Bill and Ted.
Okay.
That's my peak for Keanu.
Dude.
Wow.
Excellent.
Wasn't Bill and Ted his first role?
Don't
No.
know. I
Definitely
don't
not.
think so.
It wasn't?
No.
He was young though. He was
Yeah,
very,
he's very
young.
young.
Yeah, very.
I just
very
love the second movie where they're playing board games against Death, and Death is a sore loser. It's like, best 3 out of 4.
Best 3 out of
5 out of 6. Come on.
Come on, then. Let's keep playing. Damn it.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
don't
fucking
you
beat
think-
him in Twister.
Don't you think Death would be petty?
Listen, man.
I
You gotta
don't.
go.
I think he'd just be like, I'm not playing a game. You die. Goodbye.
Remember.
He'd be bureaucracy.
Bureaucratic?
Bureaucratic. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Couldn't quite put
I
that
don't know.
together.
Every tale in history, like almost every tale of death personified in history, says that you can beat him in some way. You can beat him in a game of some sort, and maybe it's a trope. Yeah, a classic trope on how to cheat death, I guess. But
And remember, dudes, be excellent to each other. And in John Wick, I killed a shit ton of people by throwing knives into their chest. And it was fucking great.
It was a good time, I will admit. The third one is just a video game.
Excellent.
I do remember there was a scene, I think it was either from the second or the third one, where they're just whipping knives at each
Yeah,
other.
that's
the third one.
But they're not killing each other.
Oh, well.
Which is like a good, like, because there was a segment where they talked about it, right? Where it's like, yeah, you're not just going to kill somebody immediately by throwing a knife at them, especially if you're only like 5 feet away.
You just gotta throw 5 or 6 or 7.
Yeah,
You got to hit them or you got to hit them in the right place, and some of them bounce off in the movie. I'm pretty sure.
I also love in the same scene before that when he's like putting the pieces of the guns together to find one that actually works. He's just like checking the barrel to make sure it's good to go, and then puts one bullet in, wham, headshot, and then moves on with his day.
Good movies.
Great
Also
movies.
highly recommended.
Kills people.
I think
with
the
a
second one's the
fucking
worst one,
candy
though.
sale.
is fucking Benson.
I think the second one's the worst one.
Interesting.
But, moving on again, RoboCop.
Meet
The
the cop
original.
that can't be stopped.
The original RoboCop is anything by Paul Verhoeven. I mean, I have 2 other movies on here just from Paul
Are
Verhoeven.
you gonna say Blade Runner?
No, that's not Paul Verhoeven. Blade Runner is not an action movie.
What else has he done?
Alright, we'll get into that. But RoboCop 1, amazing.
Pretty
2
good.
is fun. 3 is god-awful.
And the new one?
The new one I've never watched because
Don't
I
need
heard
to.
it was
It's
it's
fine.
PG.
I heard
or
it's
something.
I heard it's pretty bad.
Yeah, so watch RoboCop 1. That movie is just that boardroom scene when the fucking thing just keeps shooting. If you want squibs and just violence for violence sake, to make Tarantino blush, watch RoboCop.
Oh my god.
I mean, Red Foreman from That 70s Show is the bad guy, and he fucking kills it as a scumbag. He's
Oh
just,
my god. A beer in every hand and a boot in every ass.
I love Kurtwood Smith. Pretty good.
Oh my god. Joe, do you have another one?
I can come up with one. I didn't have any more.
We'll just finish off my list and we'll call it good since we're pretty close. But Paul Verhoeven movies, Total Recall.
It's actually a great movie.
Total Recall, the not the remake, is a fantastic movie.
I have one for you. Leon the Professional.
I also have a hard time calling that an
Do it for
action movie.
Matilda.
It's more of like a drama to me.
Same. I was actually going to also put that on my list, but it is technically a drama.
But another Paul Verhoeven, Starship Troopers.
Ooh,
That is
okay.
peak.
So that would that not fall under like action adventure action comedy?
That's action sci-fi.
Interesting. Oh, that's true. Oh, yeah.
Your
there's giant
enemy
bugs.
cannot fight if you disable its hand.
It's
Thank
got,
you,
It's got Mr. Krabs throwing knives at people.
People's hands.
My god.
Medic. Everything about the movie is so good, and the point that no one understood that it was a satirical movie
About fascism.
about fascism.
And
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
You know what's the
Would
funny?
you like to know more?
You know what the funny thing is I'm looking up like really popular action movies to kind of jog my memory.
I see Scooby-Doo on your phone.
Are you kidding me? Like,
Don't hold me out like that.
So here's the thing. So I'm like trying. So I've seen a lot of fucking movies. I've seen a lot of fucking
Can I
action
interrupt
movies.
you here for a second?
Yeah, what you got?
Can you please explain to me how Scooby-Doo is an action movie?
I'm gonna get there. I got you. So I'm sitting here trying to jog my memory for other movies that I may have overlooked. So I'm like looking up like great action movies or classic action movies, you know, some of the best of all time. And the fucking Scooby-Doo live action movie pops up as an action movie.
Why not?
I mean, there's no explanation.
I
It's
want
just fucking there.
I want to give it to him.
It
What-
shouldn't be.
what
but
makes-
Granted, you know what? I'll say this: in the right terms, that could be a horror movie. And let
Oh,
me
yeah.
explain how.
I would want. You don't have to. I get it.
No, but not in the way that you think. Yeah?
All right.
I'm about to blow your mind.
No dead silence.
I'm
here.
gonna blow your mind with this one. Say you're going into a dark, cramped space. Say you open up your crawl space and you just hear Scooby-Doo's laugh,
Oh God!
I'm
You just
coming, baby.
reminded me of something.
shitting bricks.
This
Doors
is-
closed. I'm not going in there. I don't know what demented thing is in that. I don't. It could be Scooby-Doo in there. I'm not going in there.
What was? All right, I got turned on. This is
getting rid of you,
not turned on, but this is a movie that I have to mention. It's not action.
You said turned on.
I am turned on now. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. They're making a horror movie of Winnie the Pooh because
watch it.
like the 1920s version is no longer copyright protected or whatever. So they're just and he looks terrifying.
Wait. Let me see.
I don't have it. I just had a screenshot of something, but
My
Blood
God.
and Honey, Winnie the Pooh slasher
We're
movie.
watching- we're watching that together.
I thought of a movie that I have to bring up because it has the best action. It is technically a horror movie, but it has the best action I've ever seen in a movie. Body parts, gore, horrible dismemberments, and that is Suburban Sasquatch, the movie.
You really had me going there.
So for those of you who don't know, Suburban Sasquatch is one of the best, worst movies I've ever seen, and let me explain that title. So, it is so bad that it is fucking hilariously good, and it's unintentionally bad. The director made the movie with the mindset that this was going to be a blockbuster. Remember that as you're watching it because it makes it so much juicier.
When the clip art shows up, like
my
birds
God.
and throwing axes, it's just it's
also,
all bad.
the
We need to have,
we're gonna have like a whole episode on the movie. I swear, at some point. But there is a great thing with the director just being like, the people that are shitting on my movie just don't understand the art behind the piece.
It's really about nature.
It's about nature and how, Sasquatch has a 12-inch floppy penis.
It does appear in the movie.
It does. It makes an appearance in the movie.
And it's just flopping around, and
It's
you're
just
like,
there,
it's
and no one ever talks about
And
it.
it's implied that I think he had sex with his captives.
It is implied that he rapes his captives.
and he kills a small stuffed animal.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
what's the dog's name again?
Muffy!
Also,
He's running around
the-
screaming Muffy.
the quote-unquote sheriff does not know how to use a firearm. That's my favorite part of the movie, too. He's running at a sheriff! Bam! Wham!
The best-
Wham! And then just gets closer and closer with the shotgun until the thing just grabs the shotgun and goes, meh.
The best part about this is you can completely tell that most of the scenes were filmed in a high school.
Oh, yeah. Also, the night scenes are literally just them with, like, a fucking ND filter on so it looks dark. It's like, oh, it's night now. It's clearly day.
The odds of you finding this movie anywhere to buy are zero.
Oh,
so
it's free on Tubi.
Oh, it is? Well, go to Tubi and watch it. But if you want to hear people go really in depth, go watch Red Letter Media's
Oh
thing
my
on it.
god, they fucking
That's how I found them, and they just knocked it out of the park.
knocked it right out.
Let me pose a movie that may not be wider known, but is a classic nonetheless. Demolition Man.
That is literally on my list. It is the last three. I didn't think you have seen Demolition Man.
So
Did you
I
know
saw-
that Taco Bell's the winner of the...
Depending on
Unless
it's
you're in
depending-
Europe, it's Pizza Hut. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Fuck!
Yeah, it depends on the version itself, but it's a fucking phenomenal movie, and it's a good look. It's almost like a prediction onto what happens if we take more of like a PC authoritarian culture.
Oh yeah, the police walk up. Please stop doing that.
Yeah, like if you swear, you get a ticket, and it's like you don't use toilet paper anymore, so he just drops. He just swears until he gets enough tickets to wipe his ass with the tickets.
But
Beautiful
also,
cinematography.
Also, ask your friends about the 3 seashell method. That's how they wipe their ass in that. Just ask your friends.
Also, Wesley Snipes fucking kills it in that movie.
He does. He very much does.
Yeah, I mean,
He goes full... He is so happy to be in that role. I could tell he was just having the best time.
Yeah, he gets to go unrestricted,
Unhinged.
chaotic.
we should
evil.
probably explain a little bit about the movie. Like, Sylvester Stallone is in the past, and they freeze him because he fucked up really hard.
Yeah, so
And he's a real cop. And in the future, there are no real cops. But in the future, a guy unfreezes a criminal, and he just starts going rampant, and that's Wesley Snipes.
yeah, essentially, the Wesley Snipes was a gang leader, and Stallone was his police rival, I guess, and he was a hardcore cop, and essentially they both get frozen for different reasons, and then they unfreeze Wesley Snipes, and somehow he automatically knows the command to his cuffs. And speaks the command and gets free somehow, and then just goes to the underbelly of this PC authoritarian society and starts raising utter fucking hell.
It's a beautiful movie.
Yeah.
Also, I thought of one last movie to throw on this list. Kung Fury.
Never seen it.
Ooh.
What? You've never seen the Laser Raptors?
Oh my god! So
I've
that
seen
is
Velocipaster.
okay. So that is a hard.
Velocipaster.
That is a hard to place in an action movie because it is so fucking wild. So it is only about 30 minutes. Okay, this movie is literally the episode of your average TV show, and it is just over the top, in your face, stupid. I'm pretty sure the opening scene is some guy gets pissed at an arcade game and it gains sentience and just starts running amok, killing everything in the city. And the guy's like in his penthouse apartment, and his name is Kung Fury. That is it. That is just his name. And he like jumps out of his building, lands on like a sports car, gets in it, and then like drives a sports car off a jump, hits the fucking this arcade game, and they go on this insane goose chase, hanging from helicopters.
My favorite scene in the movie is he gets shot back into the past, and there's just a woman that shows up, and she's dressed like a Viking, but she's holding a minigun. And he goes, "What age is this?" And she goes, "The Viking age." And he goes, "Ah, that explains the laser raptors." And it just comes at fucking raptors with like lasers on their backs, so it's like sprint out of nowhere, and they start fighting them. It's just like, what the fuck is happening?
The first laser that gets fired, he literally just turns and goes, "Fuck."
Fuck. Yeah.
And then I think 4 comes out of nowhere, and he goes, "Check out my pecs." And he's like, "Yeah, sweet pecs, bro."
And then, don't they fight Mecha Hitler at the end?
No, they fight Hitler in 1942 riding a T-Rex, and he's a kung fu master.
I forgot that part.
Alright, yeah, I'm sold on the movie. I need to watch it.
It might be on Netflix still.
I'll check it out.
It's
was,
30 minutes of
but
your time, and it is entertaining
it's worth
and
the 30
stupid from
minutes.
start to finish.
It's so good.
Oh.
I have news about that. Considering you plugged a movie that hasn't come out, I'm going to plug this.
I did.
They are making a full-length version of that movie, and Schwarzenegger has signed on. And I'm like, Schwarzenegger's there in a Kung Fury movie? I'm there.
The ridiculous. He's got to be the villain.
Oh, he's supposed to be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, I have last 2 movies, one recent, one not as recent. Smoking Aces, I think, belongs
I was
on the
going to
list.
put it on my list, and I didn't know where to put it.
It's a hard one to classify, but that movie, just the Tremor Brothers alone,
Tremor
and how
Brothers.
stupid that is.
Fucking, they just charge in, one of them immediately trips and slips on his fucking chainsaw. Which, I had a friend do that last year, and he's a fucking idiot.
Don't fuck around with chainsaws.
Yeah.
But lastly, I mean, yeah, go watch Smoking Aces, and there are
Go watch Smoking Aces.
hundreds of other action movies we could talk about. We could spend days. But I want to, Jeremy, you showed me Nobody, which I think, when that movie was coming out, I saw all the trailers, and I'm like, this looks fucking stupid. It's just knockoff John Wick with Better
that's
Call
what I thought
Saul
too.
Man. And then I was forced to watch it, and I love it. That bus scene alone makes the movie.
I also watched it, and it was just like, it popped on HBO Max. I was playing a game on my computer. I was like, I'll put this on in the background, and I'll just listen to it. Within like 5 minutes of the movie playing, I had turned off my game, and I was just watching it the whole way through.
Yeah, the bus scene, his house scene, the end of the movie, when he's just like, come on out of that fucking building, come on.
It's I think it's fantastic, and then you have the introduction to the Russian antagonist, and like how he's just like, he seems completely serious, and then he walks into his own karaoke bar, and he's just manic and fucking singing and shit like that. I love this character throughout the movie. I'm not gonna lie.
It's really good casting all the way around. There's no, oh no, the damsel's in distress. It's just, this guy is a CIA agent, he used to be, and he's just being fucked with, so he's going to kill these people.
Yeah,
And
very,
he loves it.
and that's the thing, yeah, because it's a callback to like his old lifestyle, and I like how he's not indestructible. He's old.
Oh, he gets stabbed, shot, beat the hell out of, but he just keeps coming.
Yeah.
He's a Terminator.
Yeah, essentially in human form.
Terminator.
Yeah, I think fantastically done movie. Very, very well done. Gotta say.
Yeah, so for a recent movie, watch Nobody.
The bus scene alone.
Bus scene is great.
My teeth, is it bad? It is.
It's very bad.
Fuck.
Alright, so what's everybody doing with their week?
The only thing I have planned is I have to work my second job this weekend, and then I'm going back to the grindstone Monday through Friday. I'm thinking I have some hours I can take off maybe early Friday, and then gentlemen, we can get a gaming night together.
We gotta do something.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta hit the bars. Yes, you, Joe.
This week for me, besides it being Father's Day tomorrow, shout out to the dads, I'm going to be playing Starship Troopers Terran Command, because I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say, kill them all!
The only good bug is a dead bug.
I mean,
I'm doing my part. I would like to know more.
Cockroach.
Yeah, I have absolutely no plans right now. I am just, work. Everyone's got fucking work.
Yep.
But, I don't know, maybe Persona is coming out to Xbox. I might play that because it's my one guilty pleasure.
Very
I
nice,
can't wait.
very nice.
Anime games.
Actually, you know what? I will say this: I have a friend who just bought a house near Boston that I'm going to go visit.
And does he play Persona?
She does not play any video games.
Well, what
Well,
the
you
fuck's
gotta
the
get around
problem? I bet she's not a virgin.
Wait, nobody here is.
I know.
Yeah.
If we were, well, we're getting
We'd
close
have
to
to
wizard
change.
territory.
I was going to say, I get mad at my magical powers in 2.5 years.
We have to
Old
change the name of the
motherfucker.
podcast, guys.
Yeah, and exactly. We had to let people know because we are embarrassing.
Yeah, we are embarrassing.
Just
you
so
listen
every-
to us going,
We
how
do
the
not.
fuck are these guys not along?
Yeah, no, like honestly, women have chosen to have sex with us.
At least
Let,
once.
let
At
that
least
sink.
once.
Let that sink in. Yeah, we are.
And
not
they
virgins.
didn't put cyanide on their pussy.
And they didn't put cyanide on the pussy.
No almonds for Josh. Well, signing off.
Yeah, thank you all for our listeners. Thank you for any subscribers. If you want to hear more about us, please subscribe. We're just three buffoons who've known each other since childhood, just talking shit about things that have kept us connected. So
Subscribe, send in
and-
questions. I mean, we're open for whatever.
And remember, comrades, subscribe to Patreon. You can become member of the fucking Pussy Army.
yeah, we don't have one, but
Proletariat army.
we don't have one yet. But please look for it.
Look for
Yeah.
Ask your local congressman about us.
Yeah, if
know.
you guys have any questions about favorite movies, habits, stuff like that,
Suggestions. I'll
But
go on a
yeah,
rant.
also,
Also, put
suggestions.
comments and suggestions on what you want to hear us talk about. We'll talk about anything. And I mean anything. We'll talk about fucking anything.
we literally
Actually
talked about
anything.
eating a placenta last episode,
Yeah,
so
like
it's probably
anything
only
you
going to
want
get
to
worse.
talk about, you know.
Yeah, that was our flagship episode to really put home that we are monsters.
we
You know,
are
we've seen
monsters,
some
we'll talk
things,
about
we've
it.
been some places. Wouldn't recommend it.
We'll talk about the sex robots. We'll talk about the
Leslies.
the Leslies of the world. We'll talk about it.
There's too many Leslies.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in, and with that,
Toodles.
have a fantastic weekend. Make good memories and terrible decisions.